You know, fire is one of those things we just don't like to think about, right? Especially when our kids are involved. But here's the thing. Being prepared isn't about scaring anyone. It's about building confidence, creating muscle memory, and having a plan. Today, we're going to build a simple, life-saving fire safety plan for your family.
So let me ask you something, straight up. If a fire alarm went off in your home right now, would your child know exactly what to do, without hesitation? It's a really tough question to face, I know, but facing it is the very first step to making sure they're safe. But here's the good news. You are absolutely not in this alone. We've taken all the expert advice and boiled it down into a clear, super actionable 3-step plan that you can start putting into motion literally today. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get a real handle on the threat itself. Then, we'll walk through 3 very clear steps: making your home safer, teaching your kids the absolute must-know rules, and then practicing that escape plan. And we'll wrap it all up with a quick checklist so you can check how you're doing. Sound good? Let's get into it.
All right, first things first. We need to get why this is so urgent. In a house fire, the single biggest enemy isn't the size of the flame, it's the clock. It's all about how fast things can change.
Think about it. On one hand, fire is our friend, right? It cooks our food, it keeps us warm, it's a tool. But the flip side? When it gets out of control, a tiny spark can turn into a monster that engulfs an entire room in minutes, sometimes just seconds. That tiny window of time is exactly why having a practiced, automatic plan is everything.
Okay, so let's get proactive. Step 1 is all about prevention. This is where we play defense, basically taking away a fire's chance to even start. We're talking about getting rid of those common, everyday risks we sometimes overlook. And yeah, we're going to start with the most obvious one: matches and lighters. Kids are curious, we get that, but these are absolutely not toys. The risk is immediate, instant fire. So the rule has to be crystal clear. Store them way up high, maybe in a locked cabinet, and make it a house rule that these are for grown-ups only, period.
We all love candles, right? They make a room feel so cozy, but they're literally an open flame. All it takes is a gust of wind blowing a curtain or the cat knocking one over, and you've got a serious problem. So the rule is simple. Never, ever leave a candle burning in an empty room, and keep it on a sturdy surface far away from anything that could catch fire.
And of course, let's not forget the other usual suspects. Your kitchen is a hot zone, no pun intended, so keep things like dish towels and paper towels away from the stove. Give your electrical cords a check now and then for any fraying, and please don't overload your outlets. And remember, stuff like hairspray or cleaning sprays can be super flammable, so store them safely away from any heat source.
Okay, so we've made the house itself safer. That's huge. Now for step 2, which is maybe even more important. Empowering your child with the knowledge they need. What you teach them now could literally be the thing that saves their life.
And this is really key. You have to talk to them on their level. It's not one size fits all. For the little ones, 2 or 3 years old, it's super simple. Hot means ouch, fire is a no-touch. For preschoolers, you can explain a little more that a small fire can get big and spreads really fast. And once they're a bit older, you can start talking about the real dangers, like smoke, and teaching them actual action steps.
Okay, I need you to really hear this next part, because it's a game changer. It's not the fire that's usually the biggest killer in a house fire. It's the smoke. The fumes are toxic, and they can disorient you and knock you out in just a couple of breaths. Once a child understands this, the next rules make so much more sense.
So with that in mind, here are the 4 rules that are absolutely non-negotiable. You have to drill these in. Number 1, and this is the big one, do not hide. It is a natural instinct for a scared kid to hide under the bed or in a closet, but firefighters can't find them there. Their job is to get out, fast, then call for help, and finally, they must know to never, ever, for any reason, go back inside. Not for a toy, not for a pet, nothing.
And that brings us to what is honestly the most critical step of all, step 3. Because knowing what to do is great, but in a real panic, your brain doesn't think, it just reacts. This is where we turn talk into action and theory into muscle memory.
So let's walk through the escape plan step by step. This needs to become second nature. See smoke, tell a grown-up, and get out. Stay low, and you explain why, because the clean air is down by the floor. Close the door on your way out. Again, explain why. It starves the fire of oxygen and buys everyone more time. Then, you go directly to your meeting spot outside so we all know who's safe, and you stay there. But what if you can't get out the main way? What if smoke is blocking the door?
You absolutely need a plan B. And that plan is this. Get in a room, shut the door tight, and stuff a blanket or towel or even clothes at the bottom to block the smoke. Then get to the window and make noise. Yell for help. That room becomes your safe spot until help arrives.
Okay, we've covered a lot. You have the full plan now. Prevent, teach, and practice. So let's finish up with a quick checklist. A little mental audit of your own home, right now. Just be honest with yourself. First question, right now, in your mind's eye, walk from your child's bedroom to the front door. Is there a totally clear path? No piles of laundry, no boxes, no furniture in the way? An emergency is no time to be navigating an obstacle course. Okay, next, your safe meeting spot. Does your kid really know where it is? Not just kinda, but exactly? If you woke them up right now and asked, "Where do we meet?" could they point to the neighbor's mailbox or the big oak tree across the street without a second thought?
And finally, let's get real. If your child wanted to, right this second, could they find matches or a lighter in your house? If the answer is, I think so, or maybe, that is your #1 priority to fix the second this is over. I'm going to leave you with this one thought, and it's so important. When a crisis hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. All the knowledge in the world just flies out the window when you're scared. What works is what you've practiced. So please, don't just talk about this plan. Walk it, run it, make it automatic. That's what really keeps a family safe.